Hey guys, what's up? Today's video is going to be one I'm excited about doing because a couple people I've seen here on YouTube have been doing this style of video, and it's actually a ranking style video. So today I'm going to go through my bronzers from my least favorite to my most favorite. I have 10 different bronzers to talk about today, and the two ladies that I've seen do it are Samantha March and Ashley Clady. Their videos I really enjoy, so I figured I would jump on the wagon and do my own style. So today is that day, and if you want to stick around to see more videos, you can subscribe down below. But for now, let's just get into it. Alright, so number 10 is going to be the Wet n Wild bronzer, and it is in the shade Ticket to Brazil. This bronzer is one that I'm actually not too fond of. It's probably one of my recent purchases, I want to say, and this bronzer is just too orange for me, and it also takes a while to build up on the face, so I feel like I have to really dig at the pan and kind of try really hard to get product out, and I just find that that is irritating. It truly irritates me. I don't like a bronzer that's too pigmented, like one I'm going to be talking about in a little bit, but I also don't like it to be so sheer and so hard pressed that I can't get any product on a brush. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm the only one like that, but this bronzer just isn't one I feel like I want to reach for. The tone of it obviously isn't great for me because I don't like a super warm bronzer. This one is just too orange, so I really don't choose it out of any of my other bronzers, so I could actually see myself decluttering that one. So number 9 is going to be the Anasazi Beverly Hills bronzer in the shade Rosewood. This bronzer is a shade that I actually like. It's a bronzer that isn't too warm, it isn't too cool, not super neutral. It does lean a little bit warmer. It is a matte bronzer and it is up there in price. It's not cheap like the Wet n Wild, but I do like it just a little bit more because I do like the tone of it, and I don't feel like it's it definitely is matte, but I just don't feel like it's too matte, you know? So that's why it's a little bit higher than the Wet n Wild bronzer. Honestly, I've tried to love this bronzer. I thought I would because I was hearing good things about these bronzers. My skin is dry, so I like a luminous bronzer if I can, but this one is too pigmented for me. You need to dip in it super lightly and then tap off your brush on top of that, and then by the time you blend it in, it's not enough almost, but then you try and put some more on and it's just too much. For me, it doesn't work. And I feel well, when I have a tan in the summer, this bronzer won't look as harsh. It's been, I think, 2 summers now where I've said that I would use it during the summer and it would be okay and I wouldn't have an issue, but I still do. So that makes me not want to reach for it. So I wish I was happier about that one. The next one I talk about is number 8, and it is also the only cream bronzer that I own. And that is the Benefit Quickie Contour Hula Bronzer. This one has a beautiful tone to it, and I like that about it. And it also doesn't look so matte on the face. It does give sort of a slight luminous bronze to the face. Cream bronzers aren't one that I usually grab for. This is the only one I have, but I mean that's probably good because I don't grab for it much. I like it when I'm doing more natural makeup days, so if I'm wearing just concealer and highlight, because I always wear highlight, I will put the Benefit Quickie Contour Stick on. I just don't feel like it's that it's blendable, but I feel like it's too blendable. I'll put it on kind of in this area and on my forehead a bit, maybe on my jaw if I'm feeling like it, but I'll blend it in. And I don't have trouble blending it in, but I feel like it kind of blends away to nothing, which is why I don't wear it with more like foundation-y, like really done makeup, if that makes sense. So it's just not a favorite of mine. It's okay. I grab for it sometimes, but yeah, it's not an overall favorite. Alrighty, so in the number 7 spot is another drugstore bronzer, and it is the L'Oreal Lumi bronzer in the shade One Light. This bronzer is beautiful and it applies really well. It's one of those bronzers you can put on and it doesn't look like, it looks like you've bronzed. Like, it's not like you did nothing with the benefit I find sometimes looks, right? But I put it on and it looks like my face just looks better. Does that make sense? I put it on and it looks great, but it doesn't look overly done, I think is what I'm trying to say. It is a more cooler toned bronzer. I find I don't reach for it as much as some of my other ones, and I feel like that's the reason. Because it is a cooler toned bronzer. But I do enjoy that bronzer. It's also drugstore, like I said, so it's more affordable. It definitely looks more natural, more skin-like, and so it just gives like a beautiful look to the skin, you know what I mean? But it is down a bit farther than other ones I'm going to talk to you about because it is cooler toned. So that's really the only reason. Number 6 spot is going to go to my mini bronzer. It's really small. It's from Hourglass and it is in the shade Diffused Bronze Light. So I bought a mini of this bronzer because I was hearing great things about it, and those full-sized bronzers are very pricey. They're like $35+. This bronzer I find is super, super beautiful. Super, super skin-like. It is a bit cooler toned, like the L'Oreal one. It's close in color and like texture and everything. I just find that on me, the Hourglass looks just a smidge better. I recommend the full size of it. I mean, if this bronzer looks great to you, then yeah. If you like more luminous bronzers, then yeah. But I think the mini is great for me. But yeah, this bronzer looks super beautiful on the skin. It has a more luminous kind of look to it. It's skin-like, but it's cooler tone. So that is really the only reason why it is down farther on the list. So I do really love it. I just find that I like a little bit of a warmer bronze on me most of the time. Very beautiful, and that is at number 6. So smack dab in the middle at number 5 is another drugstore bronzer, and it is the Maybelline City bronzer in the shade 100, which is the lightest shade. Now this bronzer is drugstore price, and I think it's described as a matte bronzer. On me, it just looks a little bit more luminous, and I don't know why that is because it's definitely a matte bronzer when you look at it in the pan, but it is warmer toned. So that I really like about it. The only thing right now for me in that bronzer is I do have a bit of a tan because, you know, summer is wrapping up, so I've been in the sun and whatnot. Right now it takes a little bit more building if I were to use it, you know what I mean? But usually I take just a big fluffy brush and just kind of brush it all over. I said it is a little bit more on the lighter toned side, but it does like have like a little bit of a warmer quality to it, which I really enjoy. The fact that it is a little bit more of a building bronzer, I really do like about it, and it will work well when I am at my paler shade. And you know, like I said, I can make it work now. It just isn't too bronzy because I am a little bit tan. That Maybelline bronzer comes in right in the middle at number 5. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, but it just isn't my favorite. So for the 2-in-1 spots go to bronzers that I love. Basically, I like all of these a lot. There's just different qualities to them. This one is from Thrive Cosmetics, and it is the Sun Chaser bronzer in the shade Rhea. It has a pretty like tealish packaging, which I really like. Very, very high quality. It is a there in price though. So this bronzer is matte, but it goes on the skin very skin-like, and I would call this a very neutral bronzer. I think it's right smack dab in the middle of being warm or cool. So I really like that. Great on natural days, great when I'm wearing a lot of makeup, blends really well. I really like the premise behind this whole brand. Would really suggest it if you have a little bit extra cash, because these products do go to a great cause, I feel like. Do they have a ton of shades of it? No. So that's a little bit of an issue. But this I find works really well for me, and it is buildable. Like, you can go like letter hand and you can build it up. So I really do enjoy that bronzer. It's at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is my last drugstore bronzer, and it is the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. And it is in the shade Light Bronze. I like light bronze. It works for me. Like I said, I do like warmer bronzers, and I do like bronzers that are a little bit more skin-like and luminous, which this one definitely is. Blends out really well. It's more affordable because it is from the drugstore. And I just find this bronzer looks really good anytime. Summer, winter, if my skin is feeling really dry and it's kind of like rough in texture, doesn't matter, this one will still work. And I find it just is buildable, and I like that. I like that in a bronzer, I really do. I feel like the more buildable bronzers are the most easy to work with. So that one is at number 3. Really do enjoy that one. At number 2 is a more recent purchase. It's a more recent bronzer that's come out. As I've been using it over the past couple of months, I really do love it, and it is the Fenty Stalker bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. Originally, I did get the shade Into Sun, which is the lightest shade, but I felt like it was just too light for my skin. And this was at the point where I wasn't too tan, so I returned it and exchanged it for the shade Shady Biz, and I love it. It is a matte bronzer. And here I go with saying, you know, I like more luminous, more skin-like bronzers. So why is number 2 matte? Well, I could not begin to tell you, but every time I put it on, I love it. Love the way it looks. It doesn't look really dry. It blends out really well. It's not patchy. I don't know. It's just a matte bronzer that really works for me. And I like Fenty as a brand, as I keep trying more things from them. So this one is not a disappointment. The next one I want to try is the foundation or the brow pencil. Not the point of this video. Going off on a tangent, but yeah, I really do love this bronzer, and even though it is one of the newer ones in my collection, it has quickly risen to the number 2 spot. So the number 1 spot, if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you'll probably know what I'm about to say. It is the Becca bronzer in the shade Capri Coast. I have been raving about this bronzer since I got it, and I still love it. It's still reigning champ over all other bronzers that I have. It's just perfect to me. Trying new bronzers, they're good. I like them, but this one just is number 1. It just is. The shade is great. It's more of a warmer bronze. I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself. If you have the same preferences as me, this one I would recommend over them all. It is a more like skin-like finish. It has a bit more luminosity to it. It has a slight sheen, but it's not glittery or anything. It just makes your skin look healthy. It's buildable. I just can't rave about it enough. It just gives the skin a nice lit, glowy, bronzy, beautiful look. Like, I'm dancing because I just love it so much. I didn't say it was good dancing, but that is my top number 1 bronzer of all time, and nothing has beaten it yet. So I'm eager to see if newer bronzers that I'm looking at will be able to beat this one, because it's not easy. Okay guys, so that ends the first ranking video. I have already done swatches for my highlight ranking video. ooh, that one's gonna be a doozy. And it's gonna be long because I have a lot of highlights, okay? So if you are eager to see that video, definitely subscribe down below so you don't miss it. Like it if you enjoy these types of videos because it just helps my channel out. I also listed all the bronzers down below if you missed it. And I also do list what's on my face down below in case you're curious. I don't know if you are. Don't know if anybody cares about that, but I figured I'd do it anyway. And yeah, I will see you in my next video, hopefully. Bye.